Hey guys, this is JJ. Welcome back to my channel. So I have another update. I have just completed step 13 and 14, 15 and 16 as well. So I'll walk you the steps. So step 13 is mainly to install the brake calipers on both left and right side. And then step 14 is mainly attaching the handlebars as well as the speedometer and to run some piping. And then step 15 is basically to install the cover on the left and right side of the engine block. And there's also the heat shield for the rear exhaust and some extra part for underneath the handlebar. And then step 16 is mainly attach the seat frame as well as the rear brake lights. I haven't done that part as yet. I will be finishing that on both sides from step 17 onwards. But just to show you guys on the actual model on step 13, which is the brake calipers, which is that. So each side of the brake caliper is a combination of two parts. So you have the front facing as well as the rear. So you can see there's two parts there. And then on the right hand side, which is that. It's pretty cool. And then step 14 is mainly the handlebar, speedo and some flexi host. So you can see the handlebar is now fitted. So this is just one part where you see the grip and the brake lever, and same as the other side. And then the speedo is this. Obviously it would have more details if I put the water transfer, but I won't be putting any water transfer in this project. And then obviously I've fixed some flexi host around, so just to show you guys those two that you could see are this one and this other one, which is connecting from here all the way to the bottom of the left grip. So it's run all the way there, come out from here, and then it bent round and it basically connected to here. You can see the pipe there. And then on the other side, you can see there are more flexi host. So it's basically these two. So one is, the upper one is joining to the rear of the mudguard, and then the other one come up here, and then it joined from the upper side of the black bracket, and it goes to the underside of the right grip of the handlebar. Pretty easy to do. The only thing that needs to be Careful is again when you are running the flexi hose or the pipes, you just have to be really gentle. It's probably not as easy to fit them in if you're using your fingers. So if you have got like tweezer or a very small pliers, then it will make your life a lot easier. And also you have to be really gentle when feeding the pipe to the very tiny plastic parts, because they might break very easily. They are quite fragile. So just make sure you take your time and do everything very slowly and with minimal of movement, just to shimmy the pipe in to the position. And yeah, just make sure you take your time and do it very gently and very carefully, and then you will not break anything, and the end result is very rewarding. Okay, and then I will show you step 15. So it's mainly the left and right engine block cover. There's a U shape of plastic that go on underneath the handlebar, as well as the heat shield for the exhaust. So the left hand side cover, which is this, and you fasten this piece of black plastic with just one screw. That one is for the seat mount, so it's just one tiny screw to put that in position. And then on the other side, this bit of plastic, and you basically fit two screws on this side. One is here and one's up there, and that is for the seat frame again. So those two, and then the heat shield for the exhaust is this white piece, which just goes on top of the rear exhaust. Fairly straightforward. And then the last piece, which is this U-shaped thing, is basically this, more like a top side of the square. I haven't cemented this piece in because you have the plastics or rubber slot inside, so it kind of fastened this piece in quite nicely already, and I'm not 100% sure whether this piece needs to stay rigid, but it is fastened properly through this, so I'll just leave it for now. If I do need to cement it in, I can always do it at a later stage. Moving on to step 16, so it's just the seat frame and the tail light, so which is this Y shape bit of plastic, one on each side, and then you just cement them together. And then the tail light is just that, which is a combination of 3 parts. There's 2 white parts and the clear lens, which is there. Looks pretty cool. I did have to spend some time in making kind of the aero area to be very smooth, just because of the molding of the plastic. When I cut out the pieces from the sprues, I have to file to make sure all the edges are smooth so that the finishing look better like this. So that part alone, it took me a little while, but it looks pretty good. So that's where I've got to so far. Looks pretty good. So what I will do now is to continue from step 17 to 18, and then I'll come back to you guys shortly. Okay, so I have now completed the last bit of step 16, which is the little bit of plastic that goes in to the body for resting your foot. So this is part C17, and there's also C16 on the opposite side. So that's this part, and this part here. Very easy to install. And then I have completed the tail cowl. So that's the left side. Oh, sorry, that's the left side, that's the right side. A combination of two parts. And then you also put the top cover, A12, on top, which is that. So it kind of wrapped around the seat frame. And then this part A12, which is just the top part, to give it a nice finish. I've given this tail cowl for a good polish as well, so it is looking really smooth. Looks pretty good, right? Now, what's the next part? Step 18 is basically the assembly of the fuel tank. So it's mainly 3 parts, but don't forget to install your poly cap as well. And then is the headlights, as well as the remaining of the headlamp cluster. So it's basically 3 parts. So these become one, which is this. You've got that part, and then the fuel tank as well, which is this, part number 1, and then the headlamp, which is the second part. So it's a combination of the clear part and the white part. And then the fuel cap. So I've already cemented the fuel cap onto the fuel tank, and I've also given this a good polish as well to basically try and hide the joint lines as much as possible. So the white part is split into left and right like this. So similar to what I did before for the front wheel mudguard, I super glue, well, I used the cement to fix them into position, and then I used super glue on the back just to give it a stronger bond, and then wait for it to dry, and then I give this whole combined part a polish to hide the joint line. So I'll show you slightly closer. So you can still vaguely see a line in the middle, but I have tried my best to polish it as much as possible. So similar finish, I probably need to polish it a little bit more, and then I could airbrush it, and then you won't even be able to see the join marks after. Okay, and then it's basically to put all of these parts onto the bike. So I'll do it on camera now. The fuel tank goes in here, and then it just clicked in, I think. Yep. And the instruction said do not put any cement for the polycap, so I have left that unglued. And here, as you can see, it is also telling you not to glue this part. So I guess it gives you the benefit of removing the fuel tank in future if you do want to, take apart the side cowl, the front fairing, the other side of the cowl, and then you could display the bike with all of these exposed, so you could see the top of the engine block cover as well. So I won't cement this together, I'll just leave it clicked in. And it's equally for the other two parts. They also told you not to cement it, so you just slot it in and it should click together. So I'll put this part in. Okay, and then the headlamp. Okay, so I won't be cementing these parts together, I will just leave them attached, but it is secure, they don't fall off. And then I will carry on to the next step. So we've done step 18. Pretty sure I haven't missed anything. And then step 19 we'll be working on the front cowl or front fairing, as well as the side cowls as well. And then step 20 is to attach the cowls and the fairing, as well as the seat pad. And I think that's just to show you it will require a couple of screws on each side to fasten the side cowls. And then step 21 will be the left and right indicator, as well as the side mirror, and then the rear indicator and the number plate. I will probably still assemble that part, but I won't be fixing that part onto the bike, and same as the wing mirror, I won't be attaching those, so the bike look more like a track ready racing bike. So I will carry on from step 19 now, and I will come back to you guys shortly when I made further progress. Be back soon.